Good afternoon, everybody. I thought I'd share a story with you this afternoon. And this story is all about us guys having to stay home at the moment, but that's okay. I hope it helps. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. And here it is. It's called Staying Home. Staying home. Emily, Harry, and Charlie are staying home today. Emily is not going to school. Harry and Charlie are not going to nursery. Mummy and Daddy are not going to work. They wash their paws before they eat. You rub your hands together, wash the back of your hands, make two fists and rub them together. Make a wiggly hedgehog with your fingers. Rub your fist around your thumb. Wash your fingertips. Hooray! You have to keep washing for as long as it takes to sing Happy Birthday twice. Emily sings Happy Birthday, Mr. Pooh. Harry sings Happy Birthday, Stinky Bottom. All these cheeky children. Charlie sings Me and cries because he has to wait. Oh dear, poor Charlie. Why can't we go to nursery, says Harry. Because people have been getting ill, says Daddy. If someone who's ill coughs or breathes on you, or if you touch something they've touched or breathed on, you might get sick too. So we have to stay home to make sure we don't catch it or give it to somebody else. Will it make us really sick? Says Emily. Depends, say Daddy. Children mostly just get a little bit sick, but some people get really sick. So we have to stay home to keep everyone safe. Will we ever go back to school, says Emily. Yes, says Daddy, but maybe not for a long time. When I'm 100? Before then. When I'm 10? Definitely before you're 10. Before my birthday? Well, maybe not, but we will go back, I promise. After breakfast, Emily has some work from school. She does some writing and reads a book. Harry draws a picture to send to Granny. Granny is one of the people who might get really sick. They can't see her, but they can talk to her on the computer. Charlie likes to play with the coloured pencils. Daddy, says Emily, Charlie's making a mess. I wanted that pencil, says Charlie. Mine, says Charlie. Maybe it's time to go out, says Mummy. Good idea, Mummy. Daddy does some work on his computer. Mummy takes Emily, Harry and Charlie out on their scooters. Always a good idea to get out on our scooters, isn't it? They have to wash their hands again before they can go out. As they are going down the street, they see their friend Hakeem. They can't get too close, so they wave and shout, "Hello!" When they get home, they have to wash their hands again. Then it's lunchtime. After lunch, it's time for Charlie's nap. Emily plays with Lego. Harry and Mummy play a board game. Then Mummy reads some stories. I like being at home, says Harry. I don't, says Emily. I wish I could go back to school. I miss my friends. Oh, poor Emily. When Charlie wakes up, they watch a film. Emily and Harry play a computer game while Daddy and Charlie cook dinner. Emily is cross because Harry isn't sharing. It's my turn, she says. I'm not finished, says Harry. Emily tries to snatch the computer. Harry starts to cry. Uh-oh. Daddy comes through from the kitchen. You know, he says, sometimes it's hard being together like this. I know we annoy each other sometimes, but aren't you glad we've got each other? Good point, Daddy. I know how to cheer you up, says Daddy. Let's do some exercise. Good idea. Then dinner is ready. Why do people start getting sick, says Emily. Well, we get new illnesses all the time, says Mummy. Mostly it's just a new type of cold, but sometimes it's something more serious. It's nobody's fault. It just happens. It's just something that happens. After dinner, Mummy and Daddy clean the table and the sideboards with bleach. They wipe the doorknobs and the light switches. That kills the silly virus, says Emily. Well done, Emily. Then it's bath time. Mummy comes in to say goodnight. Is everyone staying at home? Says Emily. Not everyone, says Mummy, but lots of people in countries all over the world. And of course, some people are working. They're trying to look after people who are sick or trying to find new medicine. They're driving lorries and delivering post and growing crops and putting out fires. I wish I was a firefighter, says Emily. Perhaps, says Mummy, but what we're doing is just as important. We are saving lives too. It's important to remember, guys, we're staying home for a reason, to help each other. Mummy and Daddy kiss Emily and Harry and Charlie goodnight. Outside their windows, the stars are shining, the streets are quiet. People go from house to house, delivering food and checking on their neighbours. And in the houses, people are waiting. They're not going out, they're not seeing their friends, they're staying at home until everything is safe again. We can't wait for that day to give each other the biggest hugs. How exciting will that day be? I really like that story, guys, and I thought it would help explain a little bit why we're having to stay home at the moment. And some of us are at school, some of us are at home, some of our grown-ups have to go to work. I hope that story helped to explain it all a little bit more. Have a lovely weekend, guys, and I'll see you next week.